Hello and welcome back to the Movie Marathon Men. I'm Owen Garner.
And I'm Luke Carr.
And today we are doing the first in a new series of videos that we're going to be doing here on the channel. We're looking to put out stuff for you more regularly. So this is going to be the first of our weekly rundowns.
Weekly
Rundowns. Absolutely.
Never to be missed.
Never to be missed. No. Never to be missed. So in the weekly rundown you can expect reviews, news and previews. So we'll tell you what we've been seeing, what's going on, and what we're about to see. So we'll start off with the reviews.
Yes.
We haven't sat down to record for quite a bit. We should maybe do a little bit of a quick fire catch up on things that we saw separately. So things that I've seen in the cinema without you was Novacaine with Jack Quaid, sort of action comedy set at Christmas, very Shane Black-esque. Good fun.
Good Christmassy weather.
And yeah, good Christmassy weather. Again, falls victim to the American UK release schedule. I also saw The Amateur with Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne. That was great. Another slow burn spy thriller. We're seeing less of the kiss kiss bang bang spy movies and more of the Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy-esque ones. And that was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Well, because the only recent film that I've seen to talk about is Black Bag. That's not even that recent, and we saw it together.
So you've not seen anything else since?
I've not seen anything else since. I've done nothing with my life in the last month.
Wow, no, he's been outside.
You can tell from this tan. But I saw Black Bag, and that is in that same vein. It's like... In this, it's a bad way to sell it, but it's the boring day-to-day life of a spy. It's them in an office, like a 9 to 5, but it's good. It's not as...
It's the office politics of spycraft, which is great.
It's the trailer made it set up to be a bit more like a sort of broader in scope, kind of cool, slick action film. Yeah. But it's a very good conversation film.
It really, really is. Yeah. But let's start on the film that we saw on Thursday, opening night here, Thunderbolts.
Ding.
Yeah.
That was the asterisk.
That was the asterisk. We now know what the asterisk means.
Yeah, but you don't.
You don't.
Or you do because you watched it.
But we're not going to tell you. Just a little side note, I think people very quickly went onto the spoiler wagon. They did. The embargo was lifted immediately.
They spoiled it themselves, as you know, from that cast announcement.
Yes, they did. And most of their marketing.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the film.
Good.
Yeah.
Good film.
Is Marvel back?
This Marvel was back, but we'll wait just a month and a half or 2 months to Ironheart and we'll be there saying, maybe it's not. But this is the Marvel that everyone loved from that phase 2 into phase 3 period that everyone talks about, even though there were some stinkers then too.
That is exactly what I was saying to someone. You know, you always get with this, people say, it's the best film since Endgame. And for me, I think here in this case specifically, that really misses the point. Because this is more like an Avengers film or Guardians film that we got in the mid-2010s. Yeah. This is where we were 10 years ago in a good way.
Yeah. This had that like... I don't know if we were introduced, but we met these characters again after a while. You got to know them so fast. You got to know their rapport and where they were in this team. And by the end of it, they felt like a team. Not necessarily the best team in the world. No. But this got that immediately. And they put out so many films since the original Avengers. And not once have you felt that in any of the... You've just sort of seen characters on screen and you've gone, action was good. Story made sense, I guess, you know? And then you sort of forget about it. Whereas this one, I want to see these characters back. Yeah.
Also, importantly, we have the promise that they'll be back.
Yeah.
And this film is within that larger world, whereas the other films maybe felt more like they were their own world. Yeah. And sometimes that was good and sometimes that was bad. So, yeah, for me, this is a hit. And it hits the ground running. It was funny straight away. Yeah. I was the first one to laugh in the cinema. Broke the ice for everyone. But no, the audience was good. They enjoyed it. And they were quiet.
Yeah.
Which, these days, is the marker of a good film. Like, if an audience behaves well. So, they did. Yeah. Let's move on to the next film that we saw. We saw it yesterday, a little late to the party, maybe. But we have seen it now, Sinners. So, yeah, we saw it in the cinema last night. Weren't as positive about it immediately as we were with Thunderbolts.
It builds for a while, and then it releases. And some people will have a higher tolerance to that building. Over the space of 10 minutes or so, you find yourself suddenly hooked and suddenly in there.
Suddenly wow.
And then the sad bit for me is simply that I kind of wanted that for the whole film. I wanted that for 2 hours. And it's not the action. I'm not saying like I wanted them to just be punching the whole time.
No.
It's just something about the character dynamics, something about the situation they're in is good. It's great. It's both engaging and scary and not too dark.
Yeah.
Not too gory.
Yeah.
But still like tense. And you spend an hour before that.
Yeah. Well, you touched on the character dynamics there. I was maybe a little harsh about Michael B. Jordan, where in my like initial response over on our TikTok, maybe his performances weren't as distinct because he's dual rolling in this.
It's Michael B. and Michael A. Jordan.
And I felt at times that we were getting a bit of a Michael C. Jordan performance. He got to show his range throughout the film as it moved forwards, but I don't think it's like incredible in a masterclass. But you look at like Legend with Tom Hardy. The Grey twins are so distinct. Yeah. One of them wears glasses and one of them doesn't, but they are more different than just that. Whereas in this, it felt like one of them wore blue and one of them wore red.
One of them wore blue and one of them wore red. One of them stood up straight and one of them lounged.
Yeah.
You know, that's as different as two people can be.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I thought it was like I just sort of was waiting to be like brought into their characters. I was waiting for them to feel like our guy.
Yeah.
You know, like our real. I know that the younger guy Sammy was maybe our like audience surrogate, I still didn't feel that invested in the Michael B. Jordan characters, either of them. I enjoyed watching them, but I was never like emotionally connected to them.
Yeah.
Like the person who connected the most was Slim or Slick or the old guy.
Yeah.
He was the most emotionally resonant one.
Well, because Delroy Lindo is incredible.
Yeah.
And he is magnetic in anything that you see him in. Yeah. I saw Da 5 Bloods.
Yeah.
That was incredible. He was amazing in that as well. So the performances are amazing. Jack O'Connell is fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
Haley Steinfeld's great. People get to show their range, but Jack O'Connell hits the ground running.
Yeah.
Literally in this film. Yeah. But he arrives and he's there and you're bought in.
Yeah. No, and it has that. It goes towards an ensemble cast. I was about to say it has an ensemble cast, but for a bit of the film, it has 7 or 8 main characters all together in an area.
Yeah.
And you're invested in them. But that first hour, it is an hour. It is a while where you're just watching these people do life admin essentially for an hour, and you're learning a little bit about their backstory at each moment. But I feel like we could have learned a lot more in that hour, or the same amount in 20 minutes.
Yes.
And all of those emotional bits could have been done in the action.
Yeah.
You can have that downtime in the setting, like in the scenario. You sort of waited so long for the catalyst of the story.
There is a moment at about the 50-minute mark, maybe, where suddenly the film changes, and you're like, whoa. Like there's a musical scene that really just kind of elevates the film and makes it worth the watch.
Oh yeah.
It's why for me it's 5 stars rather than 4, but it was sitting at 4.
Yeah. It's a victim of being that hyped, and also that it is just that good that we're being harsher to it.
So we did, in conclusion, we did really enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
but
it's good.
But it's maybe a victim of its own success.
Yes, it will not be my favourite film of the year.
No.
But that's okay. That wasn't their number one goal when they made it.
They didn't make it for you. They didn't make it. They didn't
make
it
for
for us.
I
don't think they made it for us, to be honest. But we did love it. Well, let's move on to talking about some news, shall we?
Yes.
Predator: Badlands, Dan Trachtenberg's next movie, following on from the success of Prey, they have given him a bigger budget and a cinematic release for Predator: Badlands, which is going to be set in the future. It is on an alien planet, and we're maybe watching the Predator as the protagonist, which is something that fans have wanted for a while. And then the other project that we have coming out is Alien Earth. What I wanted to talk about here is that I think we are approaching the possibility of another Alien vs Predator movie, and maybe this time they'll get it more right. I am holding out hope that is moving towards that, and Alien Earth is about some people who've hunted some monsters and gathered a collection of creatures.
Yeah.
So Alien is one of them, but there's the potential. And I have a feeling that they may be testing the waters, because there's been talks of, Dan Trachtenberg and Fede Alvarez could work together on one in the future. And Fede Alvarez recently has said that for him, the best Alien vs Predator movie is the one that you don't know is an Alien vs Predator movie until you're at the cinema. What I'm holding out hope for is that they could potentially see with these two projects, or we're suggesting this, maybe we'd be looking at that. But that was my bit of news. That quote.
Yeah. And my only issue for not for the series, but like I feel like the public is so harsh on these films that they've got one bad film and everyone will just lose interest. And that's it's not their fault. Yeah. But they've got two. They've had Romulus and Prey back-to-back hits.
Yeah.
You'd think everyone would be super excited, but they're still going Alien Earth. Oh, let's see. It looks good, but let's find out. You know. Yeah. So I hope they land it. I hope that these two films are good because people are not going to be kind. Well, this is an exciting time of the year. Mm-hmm. It's spring. The sun is out.
Yep.
Flowers are blooming. Lambs are birthed. And it's the end of the financial tax year, which means we get to see what the biggest box office bombs were last year.
Right, okay. Yeah.
I've got the 5.
Let's hear them. Lay them on me.
Joker 2.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It lost $114 million.
I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
That is a huge... That's more than it should have cost.
I mean, that's a huge amount of money, but I'm not surprised that they had a lot of money put in it.
Yeah.
Because Joker did really, really well and has had brilliant word of mouth. And Batman as a property is doing well at the moment. The Matt Reeves, the Batman, the Penguin as well. Like, it seems like they can't miss.
The others I'll rattle through because 3 of them are obvious. Borderlands.
Yeah.
Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah.
And of course, Megalopolis.
Megaflopolis.
Hey. And it came true, obviously. Yeah. Clearly that was going to happen.
The self-funded. Like, I hope Franny Baby's all right.
I think he doesn't know. I saw him describe the film as operating on like a different key in a musical level.
It was off key.
Yeah, that was and
to the rest of the symphony of cinema.
He's just a guy like with a triangle at the back doing it somehow out of key. Like his triangle's gone rusty.
His triangle's gone square.
Yeah. The second biggest flop of the year, heartbreakingly, Furiosa.
Yeah,
lost $115 million. I knew we knew it lost a lot, but we knew that marketing.
We knew that straight away as well. It's such a shame, and you see in like film talk and like all that sort of stuff. We'll never forgive you for letting this flop. These things that came out, film goers absolutely love, but a wider audience, like no, not film goers, cinephiles, absolutely love, and. You know, to sort of self-report as that is a bit like, all right, calm down. But it's a real shame that these movies flop and Captain America breaks even.
Yeah.
Because Captain America was rubbish. Last little financial bit of news just before we move on to our preview. Revenge of the Sith just had its re-release and is officially the highest grossing re-release ever.
Yeah.
So take from that what you will. The film's great. We loved it. We saw it in 4DX.
Oh, that's something that's actually crazy. That's maybe more of a review that we need to make. Is 4DX? If you've not done it recently, give it a go. Especially if you're, like got.
If it's a film that you've seen, and it's an action movie that you want to see in a different way, go for it.
If you think those like Thai massages where they whack you all over, if you think they're a bit too pricey, get a 4DX ticket for £10 at Cineworld.
And you get to see a film as well.
People had drinks full to the brim.
Fizzy drinks. A brave move, yeah.
It was like those images from fan parks when someone scores a goal in the World Cup.
Yeah, but it was just like the fight on Mustafa. Let's go on to the final bit of our video here. We're going to be talking about a preview of what we are about to see. Warfare.
Yeah. Again, a bit late.
A little late to the party, yeah. So Alex Garland, the director, one of your favourites.
I love Alex Garland, yeah. It's got a massive cast. All the muscles they've put on. But it's got, it's Will Poulter, Kit O'Connor, I've forgotten the guy's name, but he was in May, December.
Whatever his name is, Gandolfini.
Yeah, Joseph Quinn. It's got all those like A24 film Twitter guys.
Yeah.
It should be good.
I think it'll be harrowing. So co-directed by Alex Garland and a man called, I think, Ray Mendoza, who is a veteran and was there. So I think it will be gritty and realistic in ways in which I hated Saving Private Ryan. Because for me, I felt like all it said was, look, war's horrible.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I know that. Tell me something more about the human condition. Just showing me for 20 minutes, just people getting shot, that's not storytelling.
No, and I'm hoping there's more to this film than, as you say, just war is bad.
For the channel looking ahead, we'll just give you a quick rundown on that. So, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning is coming out. So we will be doing a Saga Wars for that. Ballerina from the world of John Wick. That's coming out as well, so we might do a Saga Wars for that world as well. Summer is right around the corner. We've got some big blockbusters coming. Superman, Fantastic Four, all these things. We'll be busy, and we'll be putting out stuff for you more regularly.
Yes.
But in the meantime, thank you for watching. We have been the Movie Marathon Men. I've been Owen Garner.
And I've been Luke Carr.
And we'll say goodbye.